Hello and welcome back.
Welcome back.
It's Higurashi time.
It's time for the min of the Higurashi.
There's
to fill your ears.
Things are going crazy.
No, it's fine. We're just having a good old stroll down the garden path to our house, or from our house, I forget. And we're definitely very trustworthy individual.
I completely agree.
And not crazy, and fine. It's good.
Yes, I've really been enjoying editing at the moment and just going back and seeing how like everything has been referenced later on.
Sure.
Like all of the like throwaway lines making fun of his friends have now come to, you know, it's been from like, oh gosh, you guys are demons, to like, oh my god, they're actually demons.
It's true.
Look at them being wild and crazy and they're the insane ones, not me.
You know, I've never heard Ryukishi repeat himself.
That's right. Is Ryukishi repeating himself really just short-term foreshadowing?
I think it is. I mean, we've had this discussion before. He's just trying to pinpoint some things you should be focusing in on. You know how he is. You know how that cat does it in the hood.
Satoshi and I had, what? All my well-planned actions throughout the day had turned out to be nothing more than a reenactment of what Satoshi had done. Satoshi, had he really been in the same situation as I was now? I love how he calls it a situation.
Yeah, he's in a situation.
As though it's being done onto him.
It is.
It's almost like he's gone insane.
Nah, he's fine.
The friends he had gotten along with had changed suddenly, and for no reason, at least none that I had noticed, and planned to kill him. And fearing for his life as I am, he got a bat to protect himself and carried it around every day to practice his swing. And then one day suddenly what? He transferred. My blood went cold, causing a prickling sensation to course through my veins.
Don't transfer out.
Starting near my heart, it radiated outwards, from the top of my head to the soles of my feet, chilling every part of me without recourse. What did she mean by transfer? I feel like that's pretty obvious. Come on, have you been following the story, Keiichi?
I don't know. I don't know if he has a...
It's called Onikakushi. I feel like he should know the title of the story.
He just transferred to another school. It's fine. It's totally normal.
Yeah, there's a great reason that he's no longer staying with his family.
He probably just was sick of everyone and had to get going.
Yeah,
that's
just got a bit bored.
Yeah, he's got a bit bored of hanging out here with these
kid.
kids. He's like, man, I want to go to a new school with new friends. It'll be great.
What did she mean by transfer? Was Satoshi still at wherever he transferred to? Probably.
Yeah.
Was he the only one who'd be able to understand me? Would he be able to tell me why it all ended up like this? More importantly, where did he transfer to? What did she mean by transfer? What did she mean by transfer?
Uh-oh.
Before I knew it, I was at my front door.
Oh, thank goodness.
The frigid knob was hard to turn. Was nobody home? Wasn't that odd of an occurrence? I reached in my pocket and pulled out the single key attached to my first seal keychain.
Haha, that's references to the beginning. It's great. Foreshadowing.
I stepped into the entryway. Just as I was about to take off my shoes, a chill ran down my spine. Someone had entered right behind me.
Oh shit!
Like a classmate messing around, standing right up against my back.
Oh.
You're kidding, right? It had to be my imagination. Logically speaking, it was impossible for someone to be able to hide their presence within my personal space all the way through the door. But there was undoubtedly someone behind me. This is like kind of an old Australian reference that I'm sure reached slightly, no, not this.
What are you?
Slightly further out into the media.
Sure.
But did you ever watch Hamish and Andy's ghosting segment on their show?
I can imagine what it would be. I don't think I've ever seen it though. That's great.
It was basically just this contest they did where they walked as close behind people in public as they could.
See if they noticed.
Filmed their reaction.
That's pretty great.
It was.
It sounds like harassment though.
It's pretty lowbrow humor, but it was a good yarn.
Isn't that all of Hamish and Andy's content?
That is all of Hamish and Andy's content.
It sounds perfect.
I don't know how they're as rich as they are.
Magic, I assume.
It's ridiculous. Hey now, Keiichi. Don't dream it's over.
What?
What? That was a song reference.
What?
How do you know they're there even though they were behind you? Because I could hear the sound of flowing hair.
Oh.
There's no other reason I'd hear that sound. That was the presence. Because I could hear the sound of them blinking. What?
Ooh.
Keiichi Maebara, there's no way you could hear that.
Yeah.
It was mostly instinct, rather than anything else that was warning me of that presence. Common sense was telling me that it was just my imagination. It was just my imagination. There was no one behind me. I began to erase the mental image of an eerie figure standing behind me. But at the same time, I asked myself, if there was nobody, then what was I feeling? As an uncomfortable sensation crawled up my spine. Actually, wouldn't it be better if there was somebody there? If there was nobody there when you turned around, would you be able to accept that? I'd be able to answer all those questions just by looking behind me, but I didn't have enough courage even to do that simple task. Alright, I could try speaking to them. The person behind me might answer me. It's just a random thought. I didn't care how I went about it, just so long as I didn't have to turn around. If I'd calmed down enough and thought about it, I would have known that that wouldn't have solved anything. Who is it? I spoke in such a hoarse, broken voice that I couldn't believe it was my own. I could almost feel them contemplating their response. I felt it. There's no way I should be able to do that. Calm down, Keiichi. It's all in your head. It's all in his head. That time he was certain he heard it. As if hesitantly trying to answer my inquiry, I was certain I could hear the sound of somebody inhaling. I heard it. I heard it. I heard it clearly. It was a girl. A young girl. I didn't know who, but a tiny speck of courage in me, however reckless it was, inspired a primal yet fitting solution to this current predicament. A scream. Why though, Keiichi?
It's perfect. It's the perfect response to thinking there's someone behind
ridiculous.
you. This is it.
All the force in my body released from my lungs and through my throat, ceasing all throughout all thought processes in my head. Suppressing all my thoughts and emotions, I began to collapse like a house of cards, somehow managing to twist my body and look back as I did so. It was definitely there. Right there. Somebody was there. Until the moment I turned around, until I brought the area behind me into my field of vision, they were definitely there. Falling face up, my eyes traced the remnants of the presence suspended in the empty space. It couldn't be. They were invisible. They looked like they weren't there, but they were actually still standing there.
Definitely sane.
So on the ball.
Look at him. He's just.
There's nothing.
He's great.
Nothing quite like, you know, just believing in ghosts.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. He's a completely natural boy, believing in ghosts and shit.
As I screamed, all the emotions I was holding back burst free in a violent wave. However, I was decidedly calm as my emotional dam collapsed. That's not how I would describe your state, Keiichi. I would not...
He's calm.
Decidedly
He's calm and collected. He's very logical.
Very methodical.
Very methodical, playing optimally, I would say.
The turbulent wave of pent-up emotions was skillfully diverted into a... Skillfully.
Yeah.
I love this language so much.
But it's how
so deliberate.
It's how he perceives himself. Yeah. It's great.
Into a torrent of aggression. That emotion was definitely required to extradite myself from the bizarre situation happening right in front of me.
It was only natural.
It was definitely required.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Just skillfully diverted into aggression. It's just beautiful.
It's great. It's
so
a fucking poem of a monologue. Yeah. Really, it's great.
In my state of heightened lucidity, I entrusted my body to the fury. I just want to take time with this
to explore every syllable.
Just soak it in.
It's great.
The metal bat held firm in my right hand as if drawn there by a magnet. A mid-level sweep would be the hardest attack to dodge. I remembered reading something like that from a book about swordsmanship or something.
Right.
I brandished my will to fight. The afterimage of that amalgamation of metal flashed as it swung from left to right, beating against the entryway.
Oh, good. There might be someone behind me. I should swing my bat at them. Good. Good plan.
Do I have to press the button for this pause to end?
I think so.
There we go.
There we go.
Bat slammed into the right wall, the tip rebounding violently. I hate that feeling. Very calmly, I transferred the force of the What? Haven't you ever just, like, hit a wall with
Dong! Yeah. I feel you.
Just the vibrations through the handle.
It doesn't happen often, though.
I think I've mentioned this already.
Maybe.
I feel like I have.
It goes up your bones.
It really does. It's so weird.
It's great.
It's like hitting your funny bone through your hands.
It's just such a satisfying feeling.
It's not. Very calmly, I transferred the force of the rebound into a sweep to the left.
Uh-oh. I think skill and precision.
The door of the shoe cupboard was split into pieces.
Uh-oh.
Shoe cupboard?
Not the shoe cupboard.
Not the shoe cupboard.
Do you know why they would have a shoe cupboard there? You familiar with shoe cupboards?
I am familiar. I mean, it's a cupboard for shoes inside the entranceway to put shoes in.
Yes. You seem surprised when you saw it. I wanted to make sure that you were on board.
It was just the fact that he was swinging at the entryway. I thought it was gonna like bounce between the two sides of the door frame.
Dong, 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 dong. Yeah, like a pinball. Yeah.
Exactly.
1,000 points for the shoe cupboard.
The door of the shoe cupboard was split into pieces. Those two swings whiffed through empty space, but they seemed to have a great psychological impact on the enemy.
Got him. He's a master tactician.
Psychological impact on the enemy.
Yeah.
Through empty space.
Yeah, fucking got him.
Ah, Higurashi, I love it. I love it. I could feel the panic emanating from that space. Oh, that was rough. The attack wasn't the only thing required. I extracted the bat from the cupboard it was embedded in and screamed as I spun my entire body around in a large arc. Ah! My screams shook the air, imbuing my furious swing with even more destructive power.
Yeah. His power level rose.
Without mercy or restraint, my violent strike, with certainty a fatal force behind it, shattered the top of the cupboard.
Certainly.
None of my attacks struck the enemy, but my ferocity had certainly seemed to impact them. Breathing heavily, my entire body soaked in sweat, the invisible enemy, there, but not there, dispersed. When I was certain the enemy had retreated, I locked the front door and latched the chain.
Good call.
No way, it had only feigned retreat and was now inside my house. God, he is so gone. Once again, I channeled my aggression and searched the house for the presence. But it was gone. I'd succeeded in fending it off. At that moment, the tension drained from my body and I let out a deep sigh of relief. All of the emotions I had been holding back chaotically merged together and began to flood out. A hodgepodge of fear, accomplishment, and disbelief all mixed together and began to flow throughout my body.
A hodgepodge? Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's the technical term.
A technical term, that's what I was thinking.
Unable to deal with each individual feeling, I beat them all back with the strongest. Exhaustion. Even in this moment, I remained composed.
Yeah, he kept it together throughout that whole exchange with the door. Then the shoe cupboard.
He never let the door get to him. It was,
It's true.
It was the ghost within
It was the
door.
ghost!
That's how you spot a calm person.
It's true. That's how you get them.
After checking all the doors throughout the house were locked, I went up to my room on the second floor and closed the curtains. I straightened my back and tilted my head back a little. After clearing my mind of all my idle thoughts, I managed to calm down even more. What was that at the front door? There's definitely something there. Thinking about it, maybe it wasn't just an apparition I dreamt up in my confused state, but I really didn't think that was the case. Calm down, Keiichi, my bar. Compose yourself. No matter how calmly I thought about it, what just happened wasn't a figment of my imagination. It was obviously a supernatural phenomenon, and without a doubt, something was behind me. It wasn't some sort of illusion I saw amidst my confusion and disorientation. Proof? I had just one piece. When I asked who is it, they inhaled as if they were about to answer. That sound had clearly reached my ears. The situation I was in right now was still unclear. Either I'd been possessed by the supernatural or phenomenon known as Oyashiro-sama's curse, or this was a ruse by the villagers who believed in it and were imitating it. Either way, their motives were unclear. The roundabout way it had been done was also still a mystery. If it was perpetrated by humans, that would mean admitting that it was Rena and the rest of them doing it, but it would be solvable. Ryukishi, it would be solvable, oh my god!
I give you this promise.
Oishi-san and the rest of the police would surely arrest my enemy. Because we all know how Oishi's been going at that so far.
Yeah, he's a competent man. Look, he's busy. He's got a mirror to talk to, okay?
Yeah.
He's got to reassure himself.
But if it was a manifestation of Oyashiro-sama's curse, I wondered what would happen. Oishi-san very clearly declared that curses didn't exist. At that time, those words were pretty dependable, but as things were now, with the rising possibility that the perpetrators were not human, he suddenly seemed quite unreliable. If I told Oishi-san this was the work of Oyashiro-sama's curse, what would happen? I couldn't imagine his reaction, but it would go without question that a void would expand rapidly between myself and Oishi-san, with me having so few allies to begin with and not being able to confidently declare whether or not this was a curse or not. There was no merit to doing that.
He's committed.
I better keep the facts of what just happened at the doorway to myself. It'd be better if I didn't add what happened here to the memo behind the clock.
What?
It'd be better if I didn't add my observations to my observations.
I know, right? I've got this diary detailing all of the secret things that I am thinking. I should not add this in there. Definitely a poor decision. I don't want to expose my heart.
It's so strange because he's like, I don't think Yuichi will trust me if I believe in magic and whatnot.
Yeah.
But so he's backing himself out of allies at this point.
Yeah.
It's
He's
beautiful.
good at it.
I'm so happy with this. Still the ever so slight possibility that I was actually confused when I thought I was composed and I was just going berserk in the entryway. How wonderful would that have been if it was really what just happened?
Nah.
I'd be able to refute Oyashiro-sama's curse. But if I denied Oyashiro-sama's curse, then that would mean admitting that Rena and the rest were the perpetrators. If only there was another way! If I said that Rena and the rest weren't the perpetrators, then that would mean believing in Oyashiro-sama's curse. By denying both of those, I'd be admitting that I myself was losing it. He's figured it out. The three options for which I couldn't choose became a trilemma of sorts. They mixed together and formed a whirlpool in my mind, making my head spin. Once again, I straightened myself and leaned my head back slightly to cool myself down. Calm down, Keiichi. Accept what has actually happened as reality. Stop thinking of anything more than that. But I couldn't help but think of it. How wonderful it would be if it turned out I was delirious and everything up until now was a figment of my imagination.
That would be just lovely.
Wouldn't it just be? Oyashiro-sama's curse wouldn't exist and I would still be bestest buddies with Rena and the restest.
I'm sorry, what?
bestest buddies with Rena and the restest.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
Yeah, no, I agree
Word
with
for
you.
word.
I see it there.
No additional letters.
I have no comment, one way or the other.
Good.
I agree with you.
I would have to be crazy. That was the first time in my life I'd ever wished for such a thing.
Uh-huh.
I really just love this monologue.
It's good fun.
It's so
Keiichi
good.
has a lot of good monologues.
Because
Ooh,
that wasn't
phone.
nearly as spooky as the Umi phones.
No, it's fine. Look, we got the nice calm music. It's not meant to be spooky.
The thing is, right, at this point, is either Keiichi's going to deteriorate and kill someone, or someone else is gonna get killed, and that's gonna drag him around.
Maybe.
Or make it worse, probably leading him killing someone. So maybe there's three options.
You think someone's gonna die before the end of this novel? Or, this chapter?
I mean, yes, absolutely.
Who do you think?
Oh god, that's tough.
I'm just so excited for these murders, but I don't know who it could be.
I mean, ultimately, all I'm seeing is Keiichi has to either go downhill or come back uphill.
Right.
And I feel like the only way that we're going to go uphill in the first arc of the book has got to be something else going wrong rather than right.
You reckon?
Yes.
Some other conflict to focus on?
Yeah.
Maybe. That would be fun. That'd be fun if there were more conflicts introduced later on in the story. We're actually not as close to the end as you might think. We've still got quite a few scenes.
I don't think we're
travel through.
super close to the end, but we're definitely like hitting that point where we're about to go into a lull, and then it's gonna get nuts again.
Where we've passed the rising action and the twists and whatever. We're in the main action of the book.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
The phone rang noisily downstairs. Generally, there were no calls from me, so I never really answered the phone much. But since my parents weren't here, I had no choice. I squirmed off the bed and went downstairs. Hello, this is the Mayabara residence.
Keiichi, this is Mom! Thank God.
I intuitively had a bad feeling about this.
Thank God they let us know which parent it was.
It's because I thought it was... she was going to ask me to go out and buy somethings. So I took the initiative. What? I don't mind having instant noodles for dinner. There's still a lot of them. The other day we went out as a family and bought a whole case of cup noodles.
Nice.
I wanted to get a bunch of different kinds actually, but they refused since the individual packs were expensive. So instead I got a whole case of the mega-sized pork bone and ginger flavored ones I liked. But my parents don't like strong flavors and didn't touch any of them, so the cupboards were still full of them. That's strategy right there.
That sounds good to me.
Strategy master Keiichi.
Let's buy all, it's like when it's someone's like birthday or something and you're like, I'll just buy you this Xbox. But then you're like, oh, you don't have anywhere to keep the Xbox, so I'll keep it at my place and you come to my place to play your Xbox, right?
Is this a familiar experience for you?
It is.
Okay.
My parents do it for each other all the time, where they're like, I bought you this movie, and it'll be my dad being like, I bought 300, and Mum's like, oh, that's so nice of you. Well, I bought insert rom-com here, which I don't know because I don't watch rom-coms. It's great. It's actually quite charming.
I once borrowed Skyrim from a friend.
And never gave it back?
No. I played it for about a year, and then gave it back to him as his birthday present.
That's great.
His copy of the game.
Did you tell him?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good.
He knew.
That's pretty good.
He knew the moment he opened it. He thought it was hilarious.
That's pretty good. It's already open. Where'd you get this from? That's good.
So you see, there really isn't a need to go shopping, right?
Keiichi, I'm not asking you to go shopping. Both Mummy and Daddy have to go to Tokyo right now because of work.
Huh? Right now? This was really abrupt.
No, we're already here. We left this afternoon.
It's quite a distance to Tokyo from Hinamizawa. Gunning at full speed down the highway would still take 6 hours. Dad has a license, but since he doesn't like the highway, they likely took the train. It would have taken longer.
I'm thinking you might understand since you heard us speaking last night, but it has to do with Daddy's contract. Right now, things aren't going so smoothly.
People just don't like paintings of insides of houses.
It's true, they don't. They're not a big fan. It doesn't pay so good.
Now that you mention it, I did remember that they talked all the time about how his job prospects weren't looking so good.
Daddy is really sensitive about things like this, so if we leave things as they are, it will affect his work.
Part of my father's particular fragile artistic personality. His emotions changed as easily as the fall sky.
It's very poetic. I like it.
You could also just say he couldn't take criticism.
That's less poetic.
It's interesting to me that, like, he's moved all the way out to Hinamizawa, which is 6 hours away, supposedly. But he still has to go back into Tokyo for work and contracts and stuff.
Well, he's trying to get some fresh air. You know how it is.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Is that in the context of a novel like this, this has to play in somehow.
I don't know what you mean. Pardon me.
Like, the fact that he's moved out here despite how obviously inconvenient it is for him.
I don't know what you mean. I'm sure that having his parents out of the house in his current mental state won't affect the story or the plot in any way.
That's not what I mean. What I mean is
sure
that
what you mean.
something contextually about why they're here has to be significant.
Sure.
Because it's just weird that it's like, oh, we've moved out to this quiet small town, but we still have to go back to the big city for work. Like, on the one hand, you could say that he's just an artist and, you know, he wants his country space. But on the other hand, this is a mystery novel.
It's true. It's true. I don't know. You let me know if you've got any fun theories about that, but I ain't saying nothing. I ain't confirming or denying anything.
Wow, it's been a while.
It's been a while. I didn't even say the phrase right, but it's there.
But something like that can be done over the phone.
Keiichi, this is your father's job, so can you support him a bit, please? Anyway, it's just faster to talk about it in person. So there wouldn't be any misunderstandings. You okay?
5, 6...
What are you looking for? What are you counting?
I'm counting how many hours it takes to dial in a phone number. I think it takes less than 6 hours.
It would. It might. Look, you're a busy person. It's a faster conversation. It's like... I don't know what it's like.
As their son, there was nothing more I could say once they started talking about work.
So we'll be back tomorrow night. Keiichi, will you be fine on your own?
Wow, this means we only have 24 hours for things to go wrong.
Nah.
It's not like I'll die or anything. Here it comes! Here we go! Keiichi's gonna die!
Keiichi, you shouldn't speak so lightly of dying. If there's something troubling you, just talk to us. I believe Mummy will be able to help out. Wait. You know what? I'm gonna assume she's talking about herself. It's fine.
Yeah, that's completely...
Yeah, it's fine. It's good. It's fine.
Yesterday I did bring up if I died rather abruptly, so I suppose they were a little worried. But really I was more depressed by the fact that nothing would be solved by me telling them. But I didn't plan on dying. At least not while I still knew nothing. I would never allow it. I won't die. I won't. I'll survive even if I have to gnaw my leg off.
Yeah, see you then. Tomorrow morning, make sure to wake up. What? What kind of advice is that? Make sure to wake up and eat your breakfast.
I feel like that's a translation hitch.
And don't forget to take a bath and brush your teeth. I think it means like wake up in the morning rather than like in the afternoon because, you know, lazy kids.
Yes, yes.
Getting up in the afternoon, getting up at like 6 p.m., staying up till 7 a.m.
I got it.
Dumbass kids.
Yeah, see ya.
Yeah, that dumbass kid.
The call ended like that. Sometimes my parents went off to Tokyo for business meetings. But Tokyo was far away. They normally did things by phone. Times they did go were normally planned out in advance. It never happened this suddenly. I couldn't say those circumstances didn't feel strange or rather unnatural. Anyway, I only need to recognize the reality of the situation. Tonight, I was the only one in the house. Then, when my parents come back from work, I'd be gone, missing. Vanished. Transferred. It sounds so much menacing like that.
It's great.
So
You're
less
going
menacing.
to transfer. No, it sounds way more menacing than vanishing. The vanishing way or the transferring.
It's like 50-50.
I see we'll never agree on what words are spooky and which ones are not.
Is the word spooky?
No, it's goofy. Whenever
Good.
I hear the word spooky, I think of spooky, scary skeletons.
They're good, we agree on that one.
A little floppy skeleton moving his arms around. It's great.
And the guy in the pumpkin head doing that weird dance, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Looking back on the series of events of the previous 5 years involving Oyashiro-sama's curse, it wouldn't seem that strange at all. Come to think of it, it was getting pretty late. I didn't think it was good that the only light on in the whole house was from my room on the second floor. It was the same as broadcasting to the enemy that my parents were gone and this was their chance. First I ran to the living room, flicked on the lights and turned the TV on to a reassuring volume.
Yeah.
Next was the study. I similarly turned on the lights and some music. I love that this is the kind of thing where like the detectives come in once people have died in the house and they're like, oh, it looks like there were people home and they've left, so Keiichi's just screwing up his own crime scene.
No, it's fine.
He's ruining it.
Don't worry about him. He knows what he's doing.
With this, from the outside, it would look like my parents were here.
Yeah.
Once again, I went through the house, checking to see if there was anything left unlocked. When I saw the veranda and the laundry still hanging out there, I went pale. I would have made it too obvious. I needed to take it down. I snatched down the laundry hat purposely and erased all traces that my mother wasn't there. It should be fine now. The garage. They hadn't gone all the way to Tokyo by car, but they had gone up to Okinawa by station. By station?
By station.
Sorry,
They used the station to get to Okinawa from our house. The station in our garage we used to get there.
I can read fine. It's fine.
It's fine. I believe in you.
It's alright. It's the problem with having a pop filter in the way.
I know.
As you're well
It's okay.
experienced with. The garage was empty, wide open, and in plain sight. This was not good. I panicked and rushed out to the back to close the normally open garage door. It should be fine now. I need to get the paper. Mom always got the paper. Since they left in the afternoon, the evening paper was still out there.
He's just being a responsible boy, you know, taking care of the house while his parents are away.
Yeah, I mean,
really
realistically,
good.
this is relatively normal behavior.
Yeah.
It's just the context in which he's doing
it's just
it.
that the mental image is him like slavering his like drool coming out of his mouth, and he's like on all fours, leaping for the washing. Like, yeah, it's it's fine.
My premonition was correct. I pulled out everything from the mailboxes and dropped it in the entryway. With this, for sure this time, it should be fine.
It should be fine.
Kind of think of it, leaving the cupboard busted like that from my little freak out was kind of bad.
It's fine.
I'll just say I tripped and fell and the bat was holding, I was holding smashed into it.
That seems fine. That makes sense. Physics work like that. The bat just fell. It was old and rusty. It was moldy.
Exactly.
It was moldy. Moldy.
Even so, just leaving it in its current state wasn't good. I should clean it up a little before Mom got back and scolded me. I remembered there was a broom and dustpan in the closet. As I was going to get them, the phone rang once again.
Who could it be?
Hello, this is the Maibara residence.
Oh, just keep. I mean,
You know who this is.
I guess it must be. I guess it must be Rena. I don't know. No, wait. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like guessing who anyone is. You're stressing me out. You're stressing me out, Felix. Because I want to say it's Oishi. Is what I want to say, but
Do you?
I don't. Look, fine. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna do it. You scared? Look,
Hello,
I've had
this is
too many
Maibara
people shush
residence.
you. I've said so many people will be like, "How do you not know who they are?" And I don't, and it hurts me. All right, we go with Oishi. You're gonna
All right,
back
that's
me up
fine.
if I'm wrong.
I won't, but I don't think you can be wrong in this instance. I think it's meant to be Faceless Mook number 4.
I hope it is.
I've read my line.
Is this Keiichi-kun? Is your mother around?
Detective Delicious. She isn't here at the moment. You idiot, Keiichi Maibara. Don't reveal that your parents are gone. You can follow up still. Calm down and take care of it. I think she'll be back soon. That wasn't a good response either. Now they might say they'll call again or to tell her to call when she comes back.
Then that's fine. It wasn't anything important. Well, then sorry for the bother. So it was just some random person.
Of course it was.
I hate you so much.
So much pressure
You're
on
like
nothing.
You're like, figure out who it is. And I'm like, I don't fucking know. No one knows.
That's right, it's a Faceless Mook. We can't award points for Faceless Mooks, except that we can because we run the points.
It's true, we do.
1 point to us.
That makes me feel better.
A scenario I feared didn't play out, eliciting a sigh of relief. That call was fortunate in more ways than one. I didn't have to deal with more telephone calls coming in from my parents tonight.
I wouldn't have to. I wouldn't have to. I just... Look, I know you just got my back there, but I'm throwing you under the bus.
Oh, no, right. Sorry. I read the line, and then I was like... that doesn't make any sense. And then I looked at it again, and I was like, oh, it doesn't make any sense. I read it wrong.
Yeah.
As we can tell, I'm on the ball today.
We're all on the ball today, I can tell. Just by looking at you.
Insert pun about chair.
Yeah. What? Continue.
I was somehow able to deal with the phone call just now. But I couldn't continue to rely on such poor improvisation. I need to make up a good story to explain that my parents were home but couldn't answer the phone at the moment. I just love to see, like, the comedy size piece of paper that he's, like, dragged out and written all of the different alternatives on it. It's like, if someone calls and asks about this.
Yeah, he's got, like, a flowchart.
Yeah.
Showing what... If they talk with my parents, direct them to step B. If they ask about any animals, direct them... Press 5. Right?
His parents get back and all of the canvases in the, like, painting space have just been covered with flowcharts.
Yes. That's the madness of Keiichi.
They were making a tempura and couldn't step away right now. That wasn't good enough. They were sick and went to bed because they weren't feeling well. Was that going to be safe enough?
Oh,
I was thinking
boy.
about it on the way back to my room and the phone rang once again. It was like they were calling because they knew I was going to lie. I didn't want to pick up, but I knew I had to. They'd suspect my parents weren't here.
Damn right they would.
I should have just taken the phone off the hook under the pretense I didn't realize that it was. But since the phone rang, I had to pick it up. I prepared myself and lifted up the receiver. Hello? I stopped announcing this was the Maibara residence. I had no reason to be kind to someone I didn't know the identity of. But unlike my uncouth voice, the person on the other side sounded goofy and lighthearted.
Hello! I am Goofy Lightheart Man. My apologies for calling so late. This is Oishi from the Okinomiya bookstore.
Oishi-san.
Is that you, Maibara-san? Good evening. Good to hear that you are doing well.
I can't wait for Keiichi to take that as a threat. Wait just a moment, please.
How dare you tell me to be doing well? Does he think I'm not doing well? Does he think I'm crazy? Ah!
I grabbed the portable handset and rushed up to my room with it. It was the same no matter where I was since there was no one else home, but I wanted to be a spot that felt a bit safer when speaking on the phone with Oishi-san, except for when Rena inevitably appears at the door. Sorry for the wait.
How are things? Anything changed since then? Any spooky ghosts show up?
Since then? When was that exactly? There's something about the brazen way he talked that rubbed me up the wrong way. Last time I spoke with Oishi-san was 2 days ago. The day I stayed home from school, I met Oishi-san on the way back from the hospital, and we headed into town for lunch and had a talk.
Oh yeah.
Then after that, Rena and Mion came up to check on me.
Yeah, it was fun.
Whenever I spoke with Oishi-san, they always knew about it.
Yeah.
It was like that since the first time I met him. Today's phone call may well be found out by them as well.
Hello, can you hear me, my person? You're very quiet.
Sorry, what did you say?
You've been eating your vegetables. I asked if anything's changed since last time.
I've gone batshit insane.
That's wonderful. There wasn't an answer, so I got a bit worried.
Not really. The words stopped in my throat. There's a ton of stuff that happened. All of it baffling. What should I talk about? I didn't understand any of it, but I should try asking. If I didn't ask now, I may never have another chance. This night when my parents weren't home, I had no guarantees that I would make it through the night safely, after all. Well, Oishi-san, it seems that someone is after me.
Really?
It could all just be a coincidence, but that day I missed school when I was sick, the two of them came to check up on me.
Which two?
Rena and Mion. They started asking about how I had lunch with you.
What's next?
They left me some mochi when they came to visit, but there was a needle inside. Fortunately, I somehow didn't swallow it. I wonder, could that have been a threat?
About the needle.
It was just one of those common sewing needles you see all the time. There's a hole to thread string through.
Not that, my boy-san. The needle itself, that's evidence. It could be used as proof that they threatened you.
And then he goes to try and find it, and it's not there, and he thinks they've come in and stolen it.
He just lost it. Where is that needle?
That's right, that's it. I dropped the receiver and rushed downstairs, so thank goodness he drops the portable receiver. What's the point of it being portable?
You're right. What happened? My boy-san?
When I tossed the mochi, I'd overlooked it out of terror, but that needle was a valuable piece of evidence. I'd certainly thrown the mochi and needle at the wall together. If it was there, then it would be on the living room wall. But my prudent mother had cleaned that living room wall, and there was not a trace of mochi left on it. Could it be that it dropped in the gap between the wall and the carpet? I frantically searched by running my palm along the carpet, but nothing turned up. I tried moving around the sofa and desks, pulling up the carpet, then flapping it around. But I couldn't find the needle. Did my mom clean up everything without noticing it? It was just 2 days ago. I didn't know what day they collected the burnable trash, but it may still be in the trash bin in the kitchen. Why would a metal needle go in the burnable trash?
I don't know.
None of this makes any sense.
No,
it's like he's going crazy.
No, he's a perfectly sound mind, and this is what a sound person would do.
I agree. I rushed into the kitchen without the portable receiver, which I left in my room despite it being portable, opened up the lid of the pail and poured out the contents. But even at a glance, I could tell it would be incredibly difficult to find the needle in this pile of hay. It's trash.
Oh, trash of hay. Hay of trash.
I was looking for a needle in a trash stack. She beat you to your own joke. I know, I'll try running my hand through it. Lovely. It's a bit gross, but I was looking for a needle.
Completely logical.
If I felt a small prick, I'd be able to find it.
Logical.
It was a pretty tactless method, but it was the quickest.
Yeah, if I get hurt rummaging through this pile of trash, then I've found my goal.
I held my breath and started striking the pile of trash with my hand. Filth flew about. There was nothing more disgusting than this, but it was not the time to be concerned about such details. I continued on for a while, but nothing turned up. I wanted to search more thoroughly, but I was still on the phone. I shouldn't keep Oishi-san waiting for too long. Later, when Mom got back, I'd have to ask her if there was the needle. I hastily began scribbling on the notepad affixed to the refrigerator with a magnet. Was there a needle? I scrawled the words with a red pen. God, that's gonna look insane. No. And then I dashed back up the stairs where I'd been keeping Oishi-san waiting for far too long.
Hello, how did it go?
I couldn't find it. I was really overwhelmed back then and...
I see. It would be great if you could find it, keep it safe.
That's right, the needle wasn't the only incident. I had to tell him about this morning with the hit and run. Also Oishi-san, that isn't all. Actually, this morning, that van was definitely aiming for me. I could say that without question due to the circumstances at the time.
Did you see the license plate? I can search for it from here.
Damn. I just flipped out yelling at him back then, but I didn't look at the plate. What failures on my part with the needle and the plate number?
He's not a good detective.
No, he's not.
He's not good. Oh dear.
I also seem to remember he did mention the plate when he got run over.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was looking for it, so.
I think he said something like, "Oh, down, it's too far away for me to read the plate."
I don't remember, we'd have to check the tapes. Have to check the records, which I believe you're doing as we speak, so.
Yes, right now, I have it on both screens.
Yeah, it's a very efficient method of solving mysteries.
Editing as we go.
Yeah, we could just tap a button, it'll take us to the exact point in recording that we want to be at. It's like really high-tech shit.
Incredible.
It's how we maintain our competitive stance in the market.
Exactly.
The market of mystery-solving playthroughs of Higurashi.
It's very competitive.
That's what I hear.
What failures on my part with the needle and the plate number? I was so focused on protecting myself, I let some of the most important details rather, slip out of my grasp.
Oh no.
I punched my pillow, annoyed at how worthless I was.
Oh no, not the pillow.
I'm sorry, I don't know much more about it than it was a white van.
Nothing to fret about, my bar-san. Anyone would be shaken up after being hit.
I guess all of this really isn't a coincidence, is it? Oishi-san started to hem and haw over on the other end. I can imagine him folding his arms. Also, Rena is acting strange.
How so?
What Rena said on the way home today, asking why I was so much like Satoshi-kun. Now I could say it with confidence, that Rena knew what happened to Satoshi. She knew that there was more to it than just him simply disappearing. Rena knows. She knows something regarding what happened to Satoshi, the kid who was demoned away last year.
What would that be exactly?
Rena said I was the same as Satoshi. She said something to the effect that the way things are going, I'll end up with the same fate as Satoshi.
Fate, you say? Exactly what kind of fate did she say would befall you?
Transferring out, she said.
Transferring out.
Rena said Satoshi transferred out, so given how things are going with me, I'll transfer out too. Oishi-san let out a stern sigh and then grumbled loudly.
Nayabara-san, that was probably some sort of threat, or maybe some type of warning.
I thought so too. At that point I started to think. Would it be prudent to sum up everything that had happened until now as the machinations of some human perpetrator? Other than the theory of it being Rena and the others, I was left with Oyashiro-sama's curse actually existing as the only other explanation. Of course I couldn't tell that to Oishi-san. Except, Rena's strange behavior could be proof of either scenarios. Whether it was Oyashiro-sama's curse being real or everything being part of a conspiracy committed by all of the villagers, Rena was involved. Rena had to know something. Rena was suspicious. What exactly was Rena? I couldn't help but think she was somehow involved with the prior string of mysterious deaths. I seem to recall that Oishi-san had admitted that he had dug into Rena's past a little. He was probably just downplaying it when he said a little. Meaning he'd actually dug pretty deep, most likely. I wanted to hear about Rena. I wanted to know what happened at her previous school, among other things that were still unknown to me. If Rena was somebody I should suspect. No, not that. I wanted to know the truth. Tonight I was alone in this huge house. Even though I said I couldn't count on them, I had lost the security I felt I had just by my parents being around. It wasn't like this house was some sort of fortress or castle. If a malicious person decided to use brute force, they'd easily gain entry. There were no other residences close to the Mayabara residence. No one would be able to hear anything, no matter how loud it was. I never felt as much resentment towards my father's artistic temperament and the fact that he had this house built in such a remote location as I did right now. I wonder if I would still be here by tomorrow morning.
What was that?
So I had to ask, right now.
Oh my goodness.
Because I had no idea when the next chance would come.
It's nothing. Don't worry about it.
Nothing.
It couldn't be anyone.
Oishi-san, I have something I wanted to ask about. Please don't keep anything from me.
Sure, ask away.
Even though he was so far away on the other end of the line, this was the most reliable he had ever felt. I wanted to ask about Rena, about what happened at her previous school. Actually, regarding Rena's... I noticed a sound that had been going on for a while now. Since I was so focused on the call, I hadn't paid attention to it at first, but I finally realized it was the doorbell.
Who could it be?
The time was 7 o'clock.
Be anyone.
It was past the time the postman would be making a delivery and past any sensible time for a neighbor to be visiting. Yeah, no neighbors.
No.
No one who lives nearby.
There's no one who lives nearby. No one that we even see every day.
I also like the fact that he's like, we live so far from everyone else, but he lives close to the people he suspects.
It's true. He literally meets them in the morning to go to school with them.
I considered just acting like nobody was home, but that wouldn't be good. That would ruin all the work I put in making look like everyone was home.
God damn it.
I needed to answer the door.
Hello, Mayabara-san.
Sorry, someone seems to be at the door. I'm going to go see who it is.
A guest, I see. My apologies. Should we end this phone call now?
That would be a problem. No, I'll be back in a second. Do you mind if I just leave the phone on?
It's fine. I don't mind.
He says, looking at his emptying bank account from all these phone calls.
I dropped the handset on my bed and dashed down to the door. I needed to make up a good excuse to get them to leave. I had a hunch it was the lady who called right before Oishi-san did.
Yeah, probably.
In which case, it'd be one of the neighbors who's my friends with my mom. I'll just say mom isn't feeling well and went to bed early. That would be the easiest option.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like it. This is a good plan. I'm sure nothing will go wrong.
It'd be hard for her to ask me to wake up my mom if she's not feeling well. The bell continued to ring at regular intervals. If someone didn't answer after you rang the bell so much, you'd normally give up and go home, wouldn't you? Without removing the chain, I opened the door slightly and peered out at the visitor. A chill ran down my spine. I knew it. Somewhere deep inside, I'd prepared for this moment.
Oh, God.
I tried to escape by imagining it was the easiest person to deal with, one of my mom's friends.
Who could it be?
It could be anyone.
Anybody.
It's a little cute girl. It's fine. Good evening. She's fine. She's adorable.
Rena. Shouldn't be any reason for Rena to come over at this hour, unless her friend was going insane, but that clearly wasn't happening. The timing also made me feel uneasy, because it was just as I was about to ask Oishi-san about Rena. I wish I could have chalked this up to mere coincidence. But those unsettling words from me on several days echoed back to me. Several days ago. Just forgetting words. I can't.
I believe in you.
Oh
it's
my
okay.
God.
We're both tired. I get it. We watched too much of Johnny English and our brains are fried.
Such a bad movie.
It's
Holy
awful.
shit.
Awful
So
movie. I
awful.
never want to watch it again. Let's go watch Christopher Robin next time.
Please.
Please, for love of God, save me.
There's nothing this old man doesn't know.
Oh boy. Oh dear.
Are you alone, Rena?
Yeah.
Seems Mion wasn't with her, but that didn't change the situation at all. Why did you come here?
Hey, Keiichi-kun, I'd like you to open the door so we can talk. Can I come inside? I wonder.
It was true that speaking through a chain door wasn't the right way to talk to a classmate, but at my house, the chain has to be on at night. Don't worry about it.
Then, it can't be helped, I guess.
Rena pouted rather sadly, but she kept smiling at least, and her effort to keep that smile up was quite pitiful. Even though she was tugging at my heartstrings, I didn't lower my guard. As long as I stayed like this, even if it made my heart ache, my life wasn't in danger. What I really feared, more than the possibility that the hoodlums would assault me if I removed the chain, was trusting Rena enough to remove the chain and having my friendship betrayed. As long as the chain wasn't unlatched, even if it made my heart ache, I wouldn't have to deal with being betrayed by Rena. Since it didn't seem like I'd removed the chain from her silent urging, she appeared to give up on trying to get into the entranceway.
Have you eaten yet, Keiichi-kun?
No, I haven't eaten. Since my mom wasn't there, dinner wouldn't be ready no matter how long I waited.
No.
What about the noodles, Keiichi?
You got noodles!
We already established
Delicious
the noodles.
noodles!
I laid down when I got home and was woken up by the phone and didn't have a chance to eat since I used up all that time talking. I was going to have cup noodles in any case. I could just eat one whenever I wanted to.
Raw.
No, not yet. What about it?
No water. Then good. Star. Look here, I brought a bunch of dishes.
Rena held out a stack of boxes wrapped in cloth.
If I could use your kitchen, I can heat up the miso soup and other stuff. Star.
It's fine, you don't need to do that.
But there's a lot of tofu and vegetables in it. Does Keiichi-kun not like that type of stuff? I wonder.
There's no way I wouldn't like that. I love miso soup with lots of ingredients. White radish, carrots, burdock roots, and potatoes, dense and fibrous root vegetables. Yeah, that miso soup looks incredible.
I'll all that vitamin C. I also brought rice, so if you microwave it, you can eat it really quickly. Star.
Without a doubt, rice needs miso soup.
Damn right.
Stuffing rice down your gullet, sipping in miso soup in between ravenous bites. Oh yes, how wonderful it is to be born Japanese.
Just perfect. Also, I made some more pickles. Star. I made sensei pickles this time.
What are sansai pickles?
I don't know.
Before I'd moved here to Hinamizawa, I scoffed at the mountain vegetables called sansai.
Oh my goodness! We're being told about them!
I know, it's shocking,
It's great!
but I was captivated by their charm the first time I tried them. Such a deep yet light flavor.
Hope you're taking notes.
The vegetables from the supermarkets were tasteless and bland compared to these. If you had to describe them, then they were vegetables for the uninitiated.
What?
This is ridiculous.
To become an expert such as myself, you first had to partake of sensei.
Sensei.
It
Beautiful.
was common knowledge around here that the Ryugu family's traditional pickles were wonderfully delicious. No matter what kind of pickles they were, they'd go so well with that fluffy white rice.
And also.
But wait, there's more. So delicious, it just seems so delicious.
So tempting.
Farewell to my unhealthy self who said he'd make to do with cup noodles. Rena appeared to be in good spirits and she was offering such a delicious sounding dinner. The stress evaporated from my gut and hunger reared its voracious head. At the same time, my wariness of Rena suddenly dwindled. Rena did say she was alone. It shouldn't be a problem letting her inside. I mean, if she tried to kill me, I could just kill her back.
It's true.
Though the possibility it was laced with poison still hadn't been ruled out. At that moment, a cold chill ran down my spine once again. I couldn't understand why such a sensation had occurred just then, but the voice inside me was sounding the alarm. This happy Rena speaking of this charming dinner was dependent on one premise, and that was the premise that tonight, dinner hadn't been made at my house, meaning it was under the assumption that my mom, who should be making it, wasn't here. At any normal household, 7 o'clock would be around the middle of dinner time. If my mom were here, we'd be eating dinner around this time as well. The fact she'd brought over all the makings of the meal at this time were inherently strange, unless she knew. Rena, did she know that my parents weren't home? There's also the chance this was a bluff. I'd turned on the lights and a bunch of other stuff to make it seem like my parents were here. There was a chance Rena was unsure if my parents were home. But I had to wonder. The laundry, the garage, the evening paper. There were plenty of signs of them being hastily tidied up. It was hard to say that Rena didn't have a chance to determine if my parents were here or not. But there was no reason for me to confess that right now. I should try holding on to that fact as long as I could. First of all, the chain was still latched. As long as I didn't take it off, Rena wouldn't be able to do anything to me.
It's true. Just keep that chain there and you're fine. And you'll never have to see Rena betray you.
Thank goodness.
No friendships betrayed here.
I'm quite grateful, but dinner will be ready pretty soon.
Huh? Is that so? Is that so?
I know you went through all the effort and everything, but well, unable to think of a good way to refuse, my words trailed off weakly.
But some of this could work as side dishes, I think.
I'm sorry, we have more than enough already. My mom always makes quite a few sides, so,
Huh? We have side dishes?
With a smile that bordered on a cringe, I dodged her questions apologetically.
Oh boy.
The feeling I tried to ignore began creeping up my back again. I spoke as if my mom was setting down dinner right now, but it didn't mesh well with what Rena was saying. Rena was talking as if she was aware of some obvious fact, and that I was aware of it as well.
So Keiichi-kun can cook. What did you make, I wonder?
What a choice of words,
It's
Rena.
great.
Oh my god.
Yep. It's great.
Yeah, because I mean, we've never heard of local parents talking to each other.
No, definitely
It
not.
doesn't happen.
There is no communication
No one tells
between...
their neighbors when
Yeah,
they're leaving.
I mean, I don't think that Keiichi's parents ever even told anyone that they were leaving.
I don't think
you
so
know?
either. Fucking
Oh,
hell.
it's
This
good.
is so good.
No, well, it's not that. Rena had assumed out of nowhere that I made the dishes. No, not so much that I'd made them, but rather my mom hadn't.
Did you really make them? The side dishes, did you, Keiichi-kun?
It wasn't me who made them. My mom did. No, she's making them. Right now. So you see, I'm sorry, but I can't eat what you brought. Rena fell silent at that moment. At that moment, I felt the light had suddenly disappeared from her eyes.
How about I try guessing what Keiichi-kun's dinner will be?
It doesn't matter what I'm going to eat.
Let's see.
Conversation might appear natural at first glance, but Rena was firmly in control. Felt like I was being interrogated.
Your dinner, I wonder, is it something that can be made with just hot water?
I can't wait for the eyes to happen when she makes the correct guess.
It's gonna be great.
Hey now, stop it with the insults. I can't believe you'd belittle my mom's extravagant dinner like that. Tickets sold out, full capacity already. It's that amazing. I tried my best to put on a strong front, but I couldn't grit my teeth quite right. So instead, I looked like someone who was borderline hysteric.
Don't say anything.
Borderline hysteric.
God damn it.
Borderline.
You suck. You take all the fun out of this.
Oh,
this used to be fun for me. It's not
good, Ben. It's so deliciously written.
I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
Listen, if Detective Delicious wrote this whole story, I wouldn't be surprised because it's just that delicious.
It's just that delicious.
Oh my god.
It's a delicious mystery. Yep.
But Rena showed no reaction whatsoever, even to that silliness.
Keiichi-kun, did your mother really leave you dinner?
No, you see, she didn't leave me dinner. She's making it right now. It's almost time for dinner. Rena had taken that assertion of mine that my mother was home and making dinner right now and was completely ignoring it. I could tell that the more I panicked, the colder Rena became.
Hey, Keiichi-kun.
At that moment, an uncomfortable chill crept in from the gap in the doorway.
Is your mom home? I wonder.
I couldn't keep up this charade anymore. Rena, she knew full well that my parents weren't home, but I'd come too far to admit that now.
Oh boy.
Anyway, my parents were here and we'd be having dinner soon. That was the situation I had concocted.
Look, if nothing else, Keiichi is committing to his story.
That's good.
He's committing to everything, and that's what's
So
good.
I answered. I told her she was here. She's here, of course. I could feel the humidity drying out from the surrounding air. Rena's eyes were becoming even more frigid, piercing me with their gelid glare.
There they are.
Oh boy. Why?
What do you mean? I tried acting casual, but that facade was torn off me the instant I looked into Rena's eyes. That look did inform me of Rena's response faster than she could open her mouth.
Why have you been lying to me? I wonder.
I'm not lying.
That's a lie, isn't it?
It's not a lie.
Lies!
Rena's outburst sent a jolt surging through my body. Rena and I were still separated by what few inches that slightly ajar but still chained door could afford. But despite that, I was still being cornered. My house, which I considered a safe haven until now, had become more like a dark alleyway where no one could save me.
Shall I guess your dinner, Keiichi-kun? Let's see.
I knew now that Rena had already known that my parents would not be here tonight. But it was still so strange that it had come to this. Even if she somehow knew that my parents weren't home, there's no way she'd be able to guess what I'd be eating tonight. But Rena said she'd guess. How could she guess it? How could she know it was instant?
Cup noodles. That's right, isn't it?
That I was going to eat. Wait, the cooking repertoire of a man who can't do housework is probably nothing but cup noodles after all. Looking at this statistically, it was the most probable answer.
Damn it.
That didn't mean she was guessing.
I don't think you'll be full with just noodles. I think having rice and stuff will definitely hit the spot.
Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. This was just coincidence. Rena was just reading certain tells of mine. So the fact she was inferring what I was thinking alarmed me. But it wasn't as if she was actually reading my mind. If it was being read, then she was a demon. No, not a demon. Things like that, they couldn't possibly exist.
Do you like them?
Do you mean noodles?
No. Blank.
Blank.
Rena indicated that the point my answer was addressing was wrong. Her rebuttal was so short that I momentarily didn't understand the words Rena had spoken. Sorry, Rena, what did you just say?
Huh? About what?
Just now you asked me if there was something that I liked, didn't you? Wasn't long before I regretted how carelessly I'd pushed forward with that question. It was such a simple answer, that's why I wasn't able to comprehend it.
Oh boy. I got fucking chills. Pork bone and ginger flavor.
This is such a peculiar choice of music, but it's also like exactly.
It's very strange.
Just.
I like Creative Commons goodness.
I love this.
It's great.
I wondered how I appeared in the moments my mind went completely blank until the moment I was able to recover. As my field of view began to distort, slowly swirling into a counterclockwise direction, I lost all sense of balance. Why do you know that? I didn't even deny it. That was the type of frenzied state I was in. How could Rena know even this? How could Rena know the things I liked? How could my friends know me as a person?
They couldn't.
It's literally impossible.
How could Rena have known that when my mother called her and said, Keiichi's home alone and doesn't seem well, can you go get him dinner? How could she have figured it out?
I didn't see that happen on screen.
Oh my gosh.
We'll never know. We'll have to work out what's going on with the power of wits.
I can't wait for Rena to have invited other people over and it just escalate.
It's just a big party.
Oh my god.
All your friends are here! That's why I brought so much food!
How could Rena know even this? Not even caring as I mashed my head against the door, I fixated my gaze on Rena. But she didn't even flinch when she saw me do that. I certainly did buy them. I bought a bunch at once. I bought a whole case. How could you know that?
Why, I wonder? Quite strange, isn't it? Isn't it?
I love it because this is just how I answer questions like this to people sometimes.
Just to fuck with them.
Yeah, just to screw with them. Oh, this is so much fun.
How could you dodge the question at a time like this? The chain in the door was suddenly no longer protecting me. How do you know? Why do you know? Answer me.
You bought them at 7th Mart, didn't you?
A shiver ran up my spine. I tried covering it up with an angry facade. Like I said, why do you know that?
I was behind you, following you the whole time.
Here we go, insanity's creeping in.
No, it's fine.
What are you saying? I couldn't understand why she was saying she'd been following me all this time. That's because... Wait. Oh, it's third person.
Yeah, that's because Rena was right behind Keiichi-kun's back.
1 point.
1 point. The whole time.
Like that night. The night I was absorbed in my phone conversation with Oishi-san. I didn't even sense her being there. Standing behind the door. Behind me, standing there just like...
She was ghosting you. You got pranked. When Keiichi was picking out the noodles, I was watching the entire time. You picked out so many different flavors, didn't you? Then, your mom got angry. If you were going to pick the expensive ones, then you should just pick one type, she said. Then Keiichi-kun picked out that big box of pork bone and ginger flavor that he loved so much, didn't he? Star. I like it too. Pork bone noodles. But I could never eat a whole big bowl myself.
My brain was paralyzed, dulling my senses. It might have been a defense mechanism to diminish the fear I was feeling to non-traumatizing levels. With the fear being diminished, the fog enveloping my mind was cleared away. Then I could understand what Rena was saying and started to put meaning behind her words. Even so, my fear hadn't subsided completely. It was like I was standing at the edge of a cliff, eyes closed so I didn't have to look down. Didn't actually solve any of the basic problems. I slowly took a step backwards. And as I withdrew, Rena advanced.
Oh boy! This is fine. So, Keiichi-kun, can you open this? We can eat dinner together. Star. I'm sure it's going to be delicious, so, okay?
Rena's pale, slender fingers squirmed through the crack in the door one at a time as if they had a mind of their own, rattling the chain. Yes, as if Rena's hands had a mind of their own that wasn't mine, that was Rena's, that was actually mine, because I'm going fucking insane! If she'd unlatched the chain from the door, a feeling of terror would have just exploded within me. But Rena didn't do that. She was simply imploring me to remove the chain.
Yeah.
She was doing her hardest to light the fuse to the powder keg in my heart. Trying again and again.
Clatter, clatter.
But it doesn't light. It doesn't light.
Open up. Keiichi-kun.
Please go away. I beg you. Please go away.
How can you say something so mean, I wonder?
Please go away. Go away. Go away! The powder keg inside me finally went off. No smoldering, it just exploded. I tackled the door. The force through the door had knocked Rena momentarily off balance. I couldn't hesitate here. I grabbed onto the doorknob with both hands, planted my feet firmly, and pulled with all my might. But that slamming sound I so desired didn't happen.
I hate this.
I could feel a tiny disturbing bit of resistance keeping the door from closing. And the source of that was Rena's fingers. Each of those fingers wriggling, squirming around like the tendrils of a carnivorous plant through the crack in the doorway.
It hurts. It hurts, Keiichi-kun. It hurts.
wasn't a harsh shriek, but more of a yelp she was trying to keep back. Go away, go away, go away! Kept on pulling the door with all my might. Didn't even realize that if I didn't loosen my pull on the door, at least momentarily, Rena wouldn't be able to pull their fingers out, and that was why the door wasn't closing.
It really hurts. Keiichi-kun, I'm sorry if I was messing around too much.
I didn't care one bit for her apology. No matter how much she apologized, it didn't change any of what she'd done up until now. Didn't change anything.
It hurts. It hurts. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Excuse me as I suffer through how goddamn difficult this voice is to do.
Go away, go away, go away! Rena couldn't leave even if she wanted to because I'd trapped her fingers. And his white fingers had become deep red and were no longer even squirming.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Go away, go away, go away!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And his apologies were occasionally twisted with pain, but like a broken record, she was intent on repeating it over and over. Go away, go away, go away, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it! I pulled on the door even harder. Finally, Rena's fingers were somehow able to slip out from their imprisonment in the doorway. The moment that happened, the door closed soundly and I could hear the thud of Rena falling on her butt on the other side. I locked the door immediately. Made a loud clunk voicing my rejection to Rena.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Keiichi-kun, I'm sorry. Open up, Keiichi-kun.
Rena leaned against the door, apologizing profusely and nothing else. After confirming I was sufficiently sealed off from her, I trudged away from the entryway. On the other side, I could still hear Rena echoing her apology.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Those pitiful words, they would be forever seeking my forgiveness. I didn't feel bad about this at all, but that wasn't out of any sort of malice. I just felt a sort of haze of relief that I was able to escape from Rena. Before me, Rena had threatened me at this story, saying there was nothing she didn't know. And just now at the same place, Rena told me the same thing. My feeble attempts to disguise the fact my parents weren't home had served no purpose from the start. I should have just pretended to be out and not even opened the door. My meager plans hadn't helped at all. In Hinamizawa, it was impossible to outwit them. Even though I was on the other side of the door, I wanted to get away, as far away from Rena as possible. One step, two step, with each one her sniveling apologies became more distant. I sprinted up the stairs and dove into my room. As you would expect, I was finally no longer able to hear Rena repeating her endless apology.
The syncopation between the cicadas and the music is so uncomfortable, and
I hate it.
And I love it.
No, I hate it. You hate it. We all hate it. Let's move on.
Diving into my bed, I was startled by the hard lump I felt. There was something in my bed.
All right, the phone. It's fine.
It was the receiver.
It's fine.
I finally remembered. I was in the middle of a call with Oishi-san. Looking at the clock, apparently not much time had passed since I went downstairs. Could it be that my clock had run out of batteries? I talked with Rena for so long, how did almost no time pass? It's like you made it up. It's like you dreamt off the conversation. But the hand on the clock was ticking forward one every second, as usual. As I put the still warm receiver to my ear, time, which felt frozen, began to move again. Hello, Oishi-san? Sorry to keep you waiting.
No, not at all. I didn't even wait that long.
It became apparent the amount of time that had passed between myself and Oishi-san was different. Over the phone, I could hear an energetic voice of a sports program or something. Drove home just how far away Oishi-san really was. Rena came just now.
Oh, did she come to play?
I wasn't confident that I could coherently explain the situation to Oishi-san. I just crushed her fingers because she annoyed me. But I didn't need to right now. Right now I needed to know about Rena. That's right, I was planning to ask Oishi-san more about Rena, but Rena's little visit had interrupted the conversation. What was true and what was false, I couldn't tell. The one thing I knew was the single grim reality that Rena was suspicious. I might be able to figure something out if I asked Oishi-san about her. Up until now, I'd regretted it, whenever I forced myself to ask about things that I was better off not knowing. But looking at it this way, you could say I'd hit rock bottom. There was no possible way I could feel any more regret than I did right now. No, rather, I wanted to know if there was anything beyond this I would regret more. Forget about tomorrow. It wasn't out of the realm of possibility for something to happen tonight. I wanted to know everything I could. I was absolutely not going to die like this. No, without knowing anything. I definitely won't.
Regarding Rena Ryugo-san, I did a bit of digging. Yeah, well, it wasn't much.
I understood that Oishi-san was talking in circles. A bit meant I dug so deep it'd be hard to discuss since you're her friend. I want to know everything from your research.
I don't think you'll be very interested in what I have to say, though.
According to this, it says she received phone call from your mother not 10 minutes ago.
Oh god.
Oishi-san. I spoke as calmly as possible to Oishi-san, who was continuing to avoid the issue, and then I said it. I think Rena Ryugu is suspicious. Even if the past incidents were from Oyashiro-sama's curse, Rena Ryugu is involved.
Do you have some sort of proof that makes you believe Rena-san is suspicious? Well, this is blood all over my doorway.
The manner in which Oishi-san spoke became very firm. Do you have some sort of proof? That was him talking as a detective. I only have circumstantial evidence.
I see.
I could tell even over the phone how disappointed Oishi-san was. Pulling on the fishing line when he felt a bite, only to reel in the bait. Disappointed, but ready to cast the line once more. That's how it seemed. Oishi-san, you can't do anything without physical proof, can you? What I meant was you can't come and save me without proof. I stuck that barb in there. As Oishi-san loved roundabout ways of saying things, he understood me just fine.
It's fine, my son. I'll protect you. But just stay out there in the house. Don't come to police station. Definitely bad idea.
That was not the least bit reassuring.
Like, I feel like if I was in a situation where I thought that my friends were trying to kill me and my parents weren't there and I had one person who was like, I'll protect you, go to them. Go be in the same room as them. Go over there.
I mean, but he even just had this ramble about how he doesn't think we should be able to trust him anymore.
I know, but like still, he's got something. He has a very thin like line to Oishi. He should use it. He's a policeman. Policemen are supposed to protect people.
It's so good.
Oishi-san was just using me to continue his investigation. I was just going to get killed and my corpse would be an important piece of evidence. That was all I was to him. Whether I'm alive or dead may be of no concern to your investigation, but it's all over for me when I die. Oishi-san went silent on the other end of the line. I may have been too blunt, but I didn't care. All I needed to relay to Oishi-san was that I was currently in a very dangerous position. My bedroom.
What? What? My bedroom is so dangerous. What?
So please, tell me about Rena. Sadashi transferred out. Not too far in the future, I'll probably also do what Rena called transferring out as well. But you won't be able to find my corpse. You haven't even been able to find Sadashi's body yet.
Alright, my son, please calm down. Let's not lose our heads here.
I was already suppressing my agitation, even without Oishi-san having to tell me. It wouldn't solve anything if I continued to scream about my mistrust in the police. It would seem that I could only depend on myself and the bats Sadashi left behind to protect myself. Then, I at least wanted to know about what happened before Rena transferred schools.
Oh boy. You're aware that this won't be very interesting, right?
This is not the not very interesting music.
No, this is the intrigue music. So, yeah.
Oishi-san, realizing my resolve couldn't be swayed, finally caved. Right now, to me, there's nothing I'll find uninteresting. Please, I've even prepared my intrigue music.
He's got a little, like, cassette player in the corner. Yeah, perfect. There are a few things I need you to agree to.
One of them's just labeled extra cicadas.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Wait,
Yep, here we go.
No, I just hit the wrong button. And
okay, I see.
Okay,
I see the problem.
We're good. Mm-hmm.
Please keep this confidential. Also, part of this may be speculation. Not all of it may be true. Are you still interested?
It might not be true. I don't understand what you mean.
There isn't one main investigation for the mysterious chain of deaths in Inamizawa. Each one is treated as its own individual case. Thus, Rena Ryugu has never been linked to any of the investigations. Basically, you'll see.
This isn't an investigation of Rena done by the police. It's a personal inquiry is what you're telling me.
This will make things a lot quicker since you understand the adult world. All of it is from either phone calls or meetings and interviews, so they aren't corroborated. I'm asking you to take all of this with a big fucking pile of salt, is what I mean.
Enormous pile of salt.
A large salt that you would put on fish.
Enough to kill thousands of leeches.
Yes, enough to destroy all leeches in the world.
Could you just put them in the ocean?
I mean, you could.
Salt water, right?
I feel like that would take more effort than just dumping the salt to the... We couldn't bring the leeches to the ocean, so we brought the ocean to the leeches.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say.
That's what the dam project is.
Ah, that's it!
We've solved it!
Kill all leeches! Figured it out, it was leeches, guys. We did it. You find this way funnier than you should, and that's even better. I love it. Are you okay?
I am not. I am not.
Are you a leech, Felix?
I'm not a leech, Ben. I swear. Don't drown.
This is a recurring joke now.
Don't drown me in the dam.
Oh no. Well, I'm glad that leeches are a big part of this playthrough. This is a tense scene, by the way.
I know.
Oh god.
Do we have an agreement?
Yes.
All of this is just from what you heard.
Yes, my apologies. It's all my personal investigation. You'll see.
That thing before you said you saw Rena's chart, didn't you? I'm sure I heard you say that. Oishi-san paused for a moment on the other end of the line.
Sorry, I was just dealing with leeches. I told you that too. Please pretend you didn't hear anything about that.
I didn't care about Oishi-san having certain obligations and responsibilities. I also didn't care if there was no proof. I was gonna believe everything. Even if they were just rumors, there's no smoke without fire, after all.
It's true. Grain of salt. Grain of truth, you know.
Please, tell me, Oishi-san.
I'm so hung up on the leech thing. Understood.
Oishi-san finally opened those tight lips of his.
It's tight, delicious lips.
Detective Delicious.
Yeah.
Take it.
Shall I? Yeah, let's do it. It seems that Rena lived in Inamizawa a long time ago. She had moved to Ibaraki Prefecture after she finished elementary school. Then, following that, right after transferring, the unfortunate incident with the breaking of the school windows happened. The death and the screaming, then Rena confided to the doctor. It was Shiro-sama. That was all that I, Oishi, knew. There isn't much difference between what I know and what you know, Mayabara-san.
And what part did you investigate further?
Even though I've been investigating for 4 years, I have same level of intelligence as a small high school boy.
That's not intelligence. That's effort.
Effort, same
Keiichi's put in
difference.
lots of effort.
It's true.
Detective Delicious has been too busy being delicious.
It's true.
And what part did you investigate further? I didn't need to ask. It was the incident that happened just after she transferred.
The incident Rena was responsible for. Oop. Well, I think that might be your line.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine.
The incident Rena was responsible for and what she divulged to the doctor afterwards, correct?
Yes.
1 point.
1 point.
After you learned about that, you started suspecting Rena and the others, didn't you?
Yes, I did suspect them.
So they're the ones after all.
No, that's not what I meant by suspect them.
What? Oishi-san was the type of person to say things with confidence. But these particular words were less than reassuring. It's almost like tying in a bunch of high school kids with a murder case that's older than it would be reasonable.
It's 4 years old. Like,
It's so strange.
you know? It started them young, those murderers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Rika was very responsible for the murder of the contractor at the age of 5 or whatever it
Contractor at the
was.
age of 5, and then whoever else it was after that. Always lovely people.
All those
Her
lovely
parents, you know?
people. Yeah, she
Responsible for all of
she picked up her mother and suplexed her into the swamp
Yeah,
at the
that
age
makes
of
sense.
7.
That makes sense to me. Yeah. I believe it.
Oishi-san was the type of person to say things with confidence, but these particular words were less than reassuring. Then, who did you suspect?
It was Oyashiro-sama.
Wow, what?
That Oyashiro-sama's curse really exists. Yeah, right, well.
Oishi-san's laugh was quite dry, certainly not the kind that would make you want to join in. Oishi-san resumed the conversation about the dubious circumstances behind Satoshi's disappearance. The course of events up until the start of delving into Rena's past.
Ocean time. Ah.
Just then there was thunder in the distance and a heavy rain started pouring down. Wow, I recognize this sound file.
Is a good one.
It came without warning. Rain so heavy it felt like it could beat you down onto an island with sorry.
However many people were on that island.
I left the window in my room open a crack to let the heat out. The violent wind danced into my room, making the curtains flap wildly.
What is it?
Nothing, it just suddenly started raining heavily. Sorry, please continue.
Very ominously.
She's like, it's not raining, it's still sunny outside, it's 7 o'clock in the morning.
It's next week! Bye!
Why have we been on the phone all this time?
Oh no.
I got up while still on the phone
See, he got up with the phone this
He
time.
did it!
So proud of him.
He learned how to phone.
and closed the window.
But who was phone? They said at the beginning it was an incident, but because neither the school nor the victims filed charges, the police were never involved. So you see, those involved were very reluctant to talk. Regardless of there being a victim who had one eye beaten so badly that it had permanent damage.
I'm sorry, what? No one pressed charges and the police weren't involved?
Yeah.
Despite permanent damage to
Permanent
vision?
damage to someone's eye and nobody pressed charges.
I guess people just don't need their eyes in Japan.
Maybe. Very strange. It could have been the school or possibly some individual who made arrangements to keep this from going public. Also, the psychologist was very strict about the professional ethics. Hello, my boss-san, can you hear me? He's having a good old cheery conversation with himself. Yeah.
Oh, Ryukashi.
This is fine.
I love your pacing, boy.
There was the figure of a person standing by the light near the mailbox this whole time. Even in this torrential rain, they didn't have an umbrella. They were unquestionably drenched from head to toe. In this shower, which more resembled a waterfall, droplets of water dripped down from her hair.
That's not the color that rain makes you.
God damn it.
Just standing there, both arms dangling at her side. In one hand was the stack of boxes wrapped in cloth. Her eyes focused on my room, focused on me as I was about to close the window. Her mouth was methodically repeating a chewing motion, as if she had something hard to chew in her mouth with her cheeks puffing out. What could she be eating over there? How could it be that at this time I was more enthralled by Rena instead of the shocking developments being brought to light by Oishi-san? If it hadn't started raining, I wouldn't have gone to the window. Then I wouldn't have noticed Rena, nor would I have noticed that. Rena's mouth was moving in the same pattern. She wasn't eating something, she was repeating something. What was it? What was she repeating? To me? What was she saying? Why was I right up against the window fixated on her?
Hello, my boss-san, can you hear me? Hello?
I'm sorry.
My boss-san.
I'm sorry.
Hello? My boss-san, what is the matter?
Even in its torrential downpour, Rena was still apologizing. The other self inside me drew the curtain hastily with my right hand, blocking my view of the outside. But even doing that, Rena's relentless apologies still reached my ears.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
If I forgive you for this, will you forgive me for that? Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop.
I'm sorry.
Damn it! Why did I have to forgive her? I'm the one who wants to be forgiven! What part of me can't you forgive? I won't be killed. If you won't forgive me, then I won't forgive you either. I won't forgive. Won't forgive. I won't forgive. Won't forgive.
My boss-san, if you can hear me, then please respond. Hello?
Beautiful.
There it is.
Oh my god.
That scene is particularly iconic, just in general.
I reckon that's like the best one we have so far.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Alrighty. Let's start with the tips next time.
I think so. Alright, we'll see you next time for all fun times.
Fun?